Today's topic is fracture injuries of teeth. So, whenever there is a fracture of the tooth, either it will be involving a crown or it may be involving a root portion. So, whenever you have a crown fracture, you have to first see whether it is involving the pulp or not. If it is not involving the pulp, it is called uncomplicated, and if it is involving the pulp, it's called complicated fracture. So in uncomplicated fracture, either it will be involving the enamel or dentin. Okay, so if it is only a crack in the enamel, it's called infarction, and if there is a chipping of a portion of an enamel, it's called enamel fracture. If there is extending till the dentinal layer, then it's called dentinal fracture. So the treatment for this is not needed mostly. You have to wait and for the enamel fracture, you need just and rounding of the structure and smoothening the cracked area. And in the dentinal fracture, you have to go ahead and do a resin bonded cement restoration. And prognosis of all these three are very good. In a complicated fracture involving the pulp, we have to see the stage of the tooth development. What is the time between the accident and the treatment? Is there any concomitant periodontal ligament injury? And a restorative treatment plan. Everything has to be considered before undergoing a treatment plan. Mostly would be endodontic procedures to preserve the vitality, like apexification, or it may be if it is non-vital, then we can go ahead and do a root canal treatment. Coming to the next one, that is a root fracture. Root fracture, either it may be horizontal, vertical, or oblique. Okay, so horizontal fracture, you will always see a bleeding from the sulcus, and mostly whenever there is an horizontal fracture, there will be displacement. Okay, displacement of a portion. If the root is here, there will be a coronal third, middle third, and apical third. So mostly the coronal half will be displaced and it loses its vitality. But in the apical portion, it will not be displaced, and also it will have the vitality. That's what I said here. Displaced portion, a coronal 1/3 will be involved. Displacement will not be there in the apical segment, and vitality will be mostly preserved in the apical segment than the coronal portion. Okay, so for any particular fracture of the tooth, you have to see not only clinically but also see radiographically. You at least need a 3 intraoral periapical radiograph with a change in angulation starting from the 0 degree, minus 15 degree, and plus 15 degree. In addition, you may take also the occlusal radiograph. And the healing patterns will be successful and not successful also. It was given by Anderson and Jorting. If it is successful, you will see a calcific layer in the root surface and also in the calcification in the canal. The second variety of successful healing is that it will be an interproximal connective tissue formation, and sometimes it will be a combination of a bone calcific healing as well as the connective tissue healing. Unsuccessful is that the interproximal healing will be with an inflammatory tissue. In that case, the coronal segment loses its vitality mostly. So the treatment for uncomplicated, I have said about these, and complicated also I have explained. Coming to the root fracture treatment plan, if it is vital, the tooth is vital, then there is a possibility of quick healing with the closed reduction and splinting. Okay, so whenever you maintain the vitality, the healing will be more, but you have to see if it is possible, you have to do a quick treatment with the closed reduction and splinting. And also the treatment of the root fracture also mainly depends upon the location of the root fracture. Either it is occurring in the coronal third, middle third, or apical third. Okay, mostly whenever the fracture is just towards the apex, the success rate will be more. So the poor prognosis in the coronal segment, and in this case, coronal segment is that whenever the alveolar bone is here, either it will be an coronal to the alveolar segment or at the level of alveolar crest, coronal or coronal to the alveolar crest, or it may be at the level of alveolar crest. So in this case, we have to stabilize the coronal segment with a rigid splint for about 6 to 12 weeks. And if it is cannot be, the coronal segment cannot be stabilized, then we have to extract the coronal segment and we have to approach the apical segment. We have to remove this coronal segment, and we have to either with the help of periodontal surgery or with the help of orthodontic extrusion, we have to bring the tooth structure down to facilitate the restorative procedure and endodontic procedure. If it is in the mid-root level, we have to stabilize it for 3 weeks, and mostly in this case, whenever it involves the middle third, the coronal half will be necrotic, and the apical half, if it is not open apex, then we can do an apexification procedure. If it is the closed apex, then we can go ahead and do an endodontic treatment with a surgical approach from the apex, because you can't approach from the coronal segment to the apical segment. The coronal segment you can do a root canal segment separately, and with the surgical procedure you will do an endodontic procedure in the apical segment. If it is involving the apical 1/3, the prognosis is very good because the apical segment will always have an vitality in it. In this case, there will be little or no mobility. So the prognosis of tooth injuries in the root fracture, whenever it approaches the apex, the root fracture, the prognosis is greater, and horizontal fracture will have a better prognosis than the vertical fracture, and non-displaced fracture will have a better prognosis than the displaced fracture. Oblique fractures will always have a better prognosis than the transverse, that is horizontal fracture. So whenever it approaches the apex, the root fracture, the prognosis is good. So this is an overall view of fracture injuries of the teeth. Whatever topic you would like to discuss with us, you can just comment on it. Thank you.